Well, welcome to the first TGS 15-minute webinar on turning ESG regulations into revenue. This came about with the idea that we have an ESG activator, and the ESG activator is a diagnostic and advisory tool which helps you turn ESG regulations into revenue, and that's a bit the idea. So every month on the ESG activator website, we have news and updates about regulations in the ESG space. So this little webinar, 15 minutes, is to accompany those articles. So it's basically an advisory opportunities briefing. So it's a podcast recording that you're welcome to come and listen into, or you can listen to it whenever you like. I'm going to try and make it sort of relaxing rather than salesy, but just filling you in on some information and giving you some ideas perhaps about ESG services. So today we're going to look at three major regulatory changes and partnerships that are creating needs now. So three specific offerings, some sort of guidance and ideas about pricing. I'm not sure how accurate this will be for you. I'd be delighted to have some discussion about it. And also some talking points that you might want to use with your clients or on your media to position your firm as an ESG compliance partner. So the regulations we're discussing today are going to affect about 4,000 companies in Spain, tens of thousands across the EU fashion industry, and they're going to create opportunities wherever your clients operate. So the first opportunity is Spain's climate disclosure mandate. So this is almost directly to TGS IDISA in Spain and anyone who's working in Spain. So Spain has just enacted mandatory climate disclosure legislation that creates an immediate advisory need. So any companies with more than 250 employees, any companies with assets of over 20 million or revenues above 40 million, and there are approximately, as we said earlier, about 4,000 firms in Spain who have to comply. So that's an immediate market. So Scope 1 and Scope 2 reporting starts in 2025, which means now. So there's also a multiplier effect for TGS members. So your Spanish clients aren't the only opportunity. If you have any clients with Spanish subsidiaries, Spanish suppliers, or Spanish customers, they need this advice. If you have clients doing business in Spain, they need you. And that came about. I remember when we were talking with a firm in Hungary, they had clients in Spain. And we put them in touch with Melissa. Thank you, Melissa, for helping us there. So there are three-tier advisory engagement for this kind of service. So number one, emissions baseline assessment. So typically firms are charging about 8,000 to 15,000 euros for this, and it's about Scope 1 and 2 emissions inventory, data collection and setup, and a gap analysis against the Spanish requirements. So this is immediate. This is what companies need now. So if you can offer this, you might be able to catch some clients there. The second tier is a Scope 3 roadmap, and this is generally going in the market for about 15,000 to 35,000 euros. And this is due by 2028 for the largest entities. So you're going to have to be mapping supply chain emissions and collecting data and setting up the protocols for collecting data. And you have to come up with a supplier engagement strategy. So those are all things. It's in a 3-year time frame, but time to reach out to those clients now. And then the third tier of this potential engagement is a 5-year decarbonization plan. So this is an engagement which could be between 25 and 75,000 euros. You're going to have to be doing a double materiality assessment, science-based target setting, and coming up with concrete action plans with milestones, and then also setting up annual monitoring and reporting framework. So these are all the kind of things that I think many of our TGS firms are already doing, and hopefully you'll be able to share your expertise with each other and at the global conference in Bangkok. So how TGS? This could be an advantage for TGS because if your client has Spanish operations but you're not in Spain, you can refer to TGS Ediza in Spain for local compliance expertise, and you will receive a referral fee. There you go. On the other hand, if you're a Spanish member, Tomas, you're about to receive qualified referrals from the rest of our members. I hope that this happens. Also, most of you should know, if you're a TGS member, that we have the ESG Activator tool. So this is a diagnostic framework which is the perfect entry point for the Spanish regulation. And in fact, I think we even have the ESG Activator available in Spanish now, so that could be useful. So what you could do is you could offer a complimentary ESG health check using the Activator tool, which will naturally identify these compliance gaps and will position your firm for the full advisory engagement. And one thing, don't undervalue this work. I mean, obviously this is just advice, but the penalties for non-compliance can be around 15,000 euros for Scope 1 and Scope 2 assessments. So this is real strategic advisory, which will save your clients money or save them paying fines. So what should you do? I would recommend that you reach out to your clients in manufacturing, retail, and logistics and energy sectors today. And the conversation is really simple. So, are you aware of Spain's new mandatory climate disclosure requirements that took effect this year? And that's probably a very good post to put on your social media. Look at Sun Young for this sort of expertise. Okay, segment number 2. There's been regulations in the EU fashion and textile circular economy area. So the European Parliament has created a fashion compliance gold rush. So now, was already started again in January 2025, there is mandatory textile collection for recycling. There is extended producer responsibility schemes rolling out, EPR, and a binding ecosystem requirements for all textile products. There's also requirements for the destruction of unsold goods, banned, and there's going to be disclosure of your destruction practices, not your destruction practices, but the destruction practices of the textile supplier. So this affects every fashion brand and every textile manufacturer and retailer operating in the EU, whether they're based there or abroad. They have to comply. So if you've got clients who are fashion retailers, textile manufacturers, e-commerce, clothing platforms, Mikhail, I think you did, home textile companies or B2B fabric suppliers, there will be work there. So what potential service offerings are there? Well, there is EPR compliance advisory, 12 to 40,000 per client. So register as a producer in the EPR schemes. You can calculate the financial contributions for collection and recycling. You're going to have to be implementing tracking systems for textile volumes, and you're going to have to be getting involved in the annual compliance reporting. One other service is a circular design audit, and this could be between 20 and 60,000 euro job. So you're going to have to be looking at product durability assessments, repairability scoring, recycled content tracking, supply chain recyclability mapping. And this is really valuable because it helps companies avoid having to destroy goods. So it saves them money whilst also creating compliance. So again, that's a good win-win communication and way to reach out to clients. And then a third service would be inventory and destruction disclosure. So 8 to 25,000 engagement. So unsold goods have got to be tracked, and a system has got to be set up to do that. The destruction practice has got to be documented and proved, and you may be able to work out alternative disposition strategies, whether that's in donation, recycling, or repurposing. And also, you're going to have to prepare their public disclosure. So again, for TGS members, fashion is global by nature. So a Belgian client sources from Bangladesh, who manufactures in Turkey and sells across the EU. So naturally, this is a cross-border referral opportunity for the network. And also, these EPR compliance isn't just a one-off. So these companies will all need annual reporting, ongoing monitoring, and regular registration updates. So a client engagement can generate, 15 to 30,000 annually in recurring fees. Also, fashion companies that don't have strong financial advisors are going to be looking for new ones who understand these requirements. So if you can develop your expertise here, you're suddenly indispensable. Most accounting firms don't do this. So if you can get on it and use our ESG activator to reach out to your clients as well, you could show yourself as an expert this month, not next year. This is the time to do it. So what kind of things could you be saying to your clients? You could be saying, we've been tracking the EU's new circular economy requirements for fashion. Have you assessed your extended producer responsibility obligations? We've developed a compliance framework we'd like to share with you. So again, I think we'll probably even use that as a sort of LinkedIn communication that you could forward to your clients as well. And that's partly the example of, remember, in the Brussels conference when we were talking with Alex Bailey, staying on top of EU regulations and seeing how that's going to work and be useful for TGS members. Another thing, our third item for today, the credibility opportunity. So every client doing ESG advisory work is going to be looking at carbon accounting. So the International Organization for Standardization, ISO, and the GHG protocol have announced they've created a unified, co-branded carbon accounting standards because it's confusing. Currently, our clients are not really aware. There are competing standards, some people using ISO 14064 and others using the GHG protocol. So your clients don't know what to do, so they don't buy in. There are complications with verifying, the difficulty of comparing across companies, but now there's a unified standard opportunity for carbon accounting standards. So you could be offering a service immediately, 5,000 to 15,000 euros, carbon accounting standards readiness assessment. So reviewing your client's current methodology, identifying gaps in these unified standards, recommending modifications so that it can align and harmonize with upcoming standards, and position themselves ahead of competitors. So your clients will pay for this because no one wants to invest 50,000 in a carbon accounting system that becomes obsolete when the unified standard launches. So you're again offering insurance against a wasted investment. So don't waste your money. Get ready for the unified standards now. Where are we at? So there's a case study for you, the Netflix carbon credit model. So carbon credits obviously a little controversial, given that a lot of it is fraudulent, but it is a good story which could help you sell some readiness stories. So Netflix, a company you might know, has just committed to a 15-year carbon credit purchase agreement with the American Forest Foundation. So Netflix, they did the right thing in structuring milestone payments for these carbon credits. They gave it a 15-year commitment, so they're showing their credibility and willingness to engage. It's tied to verified metrics, and it's supporting a nature-based solution. So again, yeah, the kind of carbon buyback and carbon credits is kind of controversial, but at least it's, you know, a step in the right direction. And the American Forest Foundation has social benefits because that's something which clearly supports rural landowners. So the advisory service that you could promote on the back of that is carbon credit strategy and due diligence. So your larger clients, especially if they've been promoting net zero commitments, they're going to need carbon credits. But as we just said, or repeated several times, carbon credit market is filled with low quality, non-additional and sort of fraudulent operations. But you, as a TGS advisor, can offer a carbon credit portfolio strategy. You can do due diligence on vendors of carbon credits, which is another use for the ESG activator. You can negotiate the contracts, you can verify protocols, and you can monitor and report on the portfolio of their carbon credits. So this is complex, it's really specialized advisory work, but you're protecting your client from reputational risk and greenwash accusations. That if you can be an expert here, companies pay a lot for credible guidance here. So What's a potential pitch for this? Are you familiar with Netflix's recent carbon credit strategy? They've structured a 15-year agreement that sets a new standard for credibility. We can help you evaluate whether carbon credits make sense for your net zero strategy, and if so, we can help you structure purchases that enhance rather than damage your reputation. Get in touch, TGS member. So all these things, they're just suggestions and potential opportunities. The last thing I want to talk about today is, and you can read about all these items on the ESG Activator website news page, and we'll include links at the end of this podcast. The circularity trend. So the IKEA Vanguard model. So IKEA's partnership with Vanguard Renewables to convert food waste into renewable natural gas. So this is a story I'll have to remember to speak with the guys at Empower. I don't know if you remember, they spoke with us in Nice, but they were waste specialists and helping companies achieve this kind of thing. Let me speak to Vic after this podcast. So it's not it's virtue signaling. IKEA is actually reducing waste disposal costs because it is profitable for them, saves them money. They're creating renewable energy that they could potentially use, or at least someone else could use, and they're generating a lot of positive PR and brand value with this initiative. They're also meeting their sustainability commitments with results that they can measure. So again, a circular economy strategy development is an advisory opportunity for an ESG advisor. So any client with significant waste streams, whether it's food, manufacturing or retail, could be asking, could we turn our waste into value? It's going to be a big thing in the future as well, this kind of waste advisory. So you could be assessing waste stream of clients. You could be looking for technological partnerships. You could be doing economic feasibility analysis. You could be implementing roadmaps. So anywhere with significant waste would be interested in this, I suppose. Restaurants, food producers, grocery shops, food manufacturers, hospitality, hotels, all this kind of thing. So companies already pay for waste disposal. If you can show them how to eliminate disposal costs, or even better, convert waste into revenue, you're directly improving a bottom line, whilst also meeting sustainability goals. I mean, it's a win-win, isn't it? It just takes a bit of effort, and effort sometimes is this kind of advisory service. So, what to do this week? You could have a look at the ESG Activator if you haven't already. We looked at it recently with Sophie, and it's a very, very simple tool to use, and it is free for TGS members. So you could also schedule a practice run with a client, ESG Activator Diagnostic. You can even offer it for free, but it will naturally surface these regulatory gaps and position you for advisory. So you could be looking at your clients. Do you have any clients with Spanish operations? Do you have any fashion or textile clients? Do you have any clients with net zero commitments? Do you have any clients with significant waste streams? So just have a look at your clients list and see, you could be able to benefit from the Spanish climate disclosure. You could be able to benefit from EU circular economy compliance, and you could be able to benefit from carbon credit strategy. Okay, so also you might want to reach out to Tomas and Melissa in Spain. You might want to reach out to France or Germany or Italy through the hub and TGS, or through us, and ask about other people's experience with these regulations. Who's been affected? Who's managed to get some work? And how did you do it? And remember, if you give a referral into one of these firms, you will gain 10% of the engagement referral fees. So also price with confidence. I shared, maybe I'll share it on the TGS group, but yesterday in Singapore there was a firm we were speaking to who's been showing their pricing strategy, so like accounting, bookkeeping, 200 a month, something like that, audit, it's very cheap. And then the last one they have is ESG advisory, and it says like from 8,000 euros. So engagements can be very profitable. So you're protecting client value, you're managing risk, and you're creating competitive advantage. So it could be valuable. Let me know how you get on. And remember why TGS exists in a way. We are here to help you grow profitably and sustainability. And these kind of opportunities, ESG activator focused referral work, and then knowledge base like this podcast and the ESG activator website and member stories are. It's not theoretical. This is all practical tools that you could use to capture opportunities in ESG regulation evolution. Lots of complicated words for this morning. So the firms that win in the advisory market aren't necessarily the largest and the oldest. You've seen a lot of new players, like we work with Econos. There are firms that see regulatory change as a client need. It's new services, and they move quickly to meet that need. So you've got the network. We're helping provide you the tools. TGS has the brand credibility. So if you need help to get out and have those conversations, get out and have those conversations with the members. Very quick reminder, remember there is the ESG Activator diagnostic tool. You can access it through the hub or a mail to me or Sophie. We are creating sample engagement letters. That'd be an interesting thing to have, maybe with the members. You remember you've got a partner directory on the TGS hub. You've got the addresses and contact details of each TGS member. You've got a monthly ESG regulatory update to show where the opportunities are. This is the first podcast of this, but you'll find it all on the ESG Activator website. And we will begin, I think, an ESG advisory pricing guide. I think that might be useful. So let us know what ESG advisory services have you sold recently. Don't hesitate. Please reach out to the team. Thank you. See you in 1 month.